Welcome back to our season opener for the Camping World Truck Series. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. DirecTV, it'll change your life. Call 1-800-DirecTV. A few life-changing moments just moments ago here at Daytona. Let's look back at the people involved in this most recent incident.
It started with Austin Dillon there, Rick. Eric Almirola made a move under him. And Phil, they tell you in the driver's meeting, if you go below the yellow line to pass, you may be penalized. If you block someone below the yellow line, then you may be penalized. And this is a case where when Eric Almirola started by Austin Dillon.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it and show it right here.
And you'll see there's when Eric starts by Austin, there's room there for his truck. Watch. He's going to make the move to the inside.
Third truck in line, the 51 truck. And there's a hole there right now, Mike.
Right now, and he's going to jump in it. It's there. Then Austin says, there's one under you. He starts to try to move over, and when he does, he contacts the 51, and it causes a crash.
And sometimes the way these trucks go through the air, when someone pulls up beside you, it'll actually pull you towards them a little bit, and that may have been what happened to Austin, just enough to get him into the side of that 51 truck, and then he lost control.
You know, that's the first time that kid has ever been in that position. I guarantee you, trucks on every side of him, front and back, and you're right, running 180 miles an hour, the air moves you around, and when Almirola went underneath him, it pulled him over toward him, or he moved over that way, and it was just more than he could handle. It was more than he expected.
And that's, you know, these guys had plenty amount of practice this week, but you cannot simulate this right here. You cannot simulate so many of these trucks going at the same time and going every which way.
And everyone wanting to get to the front just a little bit too early. We hadn't even completed our first lap. And this takes place as they were entering turn 3.
Look at Kyle Busch. He took a little bit of a blow there on his right front off of Austin Dillon, and then he shot up into the outside wall. So I'd be surprised if there isn't some damage, significant damage to the suspension, right front suspension of that truck, Phil.
Yeah, let's ride along with Kyle Busch right here in the hell of a good Toyota. He makes a move to the inside, has a great run going, passes a couple trucks, but unfortunately they're crashing right in front of him, and he really had absolutely nowhere to go.
Some guys some of these cats did a great job of keeping their eyeballs wide open and figuring out where they wanted to go during the course of this crash.
I was very impressed with Nelson Piquet Jr., my spotlight driver. He got through. This is the first time he has ever had to drive through a wreck like that in this type of vehicle.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, right after Kyle Busch left the pit area and went back to the racetrack, he said this truck is definitely not tracking correctly. They feel like they have some damage to the lower right front control arm, so they have gone to the garage with the 18. We're on our way back there here shortly to try to get you an update on all the guys coming out of the care center. Adam?
And as Kyle Busch continues to sit and wait, we recap a little more from the perspective of Austin Dillon. And immediately after the accident happened, Austin came on the radio. He was very frustrated, but based on the tone of his voice, you felt like he was taking credit for what happened on track, apologizing to his team. And there's a great deal of disappointment because prior to this race, a number of members from the Richard Childress Racing Cup teams were here, not working, just supporting, realizing how big this was, not only for Austin, but his grandfather, Richard Childress. Unfortunately, the night ending prematurely for the number 3 truck as he sits idle in the garage.
And that's got to be a lonely feeling as Austin Dillon trying to kick off the 2010 season, his Rookie of the Year season. And now it's over in the garage. We'll be back.
Is just a game. It's Camping World's destination recreation.
You know, each week on Camping World's Destination Recreation, we try to show you some of the neat things that Camping World has to make your RVing experience a little better. But what do you do when you need service on your unit? Well, you come to Camping World because every one of their locations has a service center, and they've been the #1 service provider for RVers since 1966. Did you know that Camping World installs and services everything for your RV? And most locations have a nationwide collision and repair center. And now many stops have a new RV spa center. They can help do a hand wash or wax, exterior cleaning, window cleaning, tire dressing, wheel polishing, just about whatever you need to make your unit shine. There's also extended RV warranties available, And don't forget, Camping World installs and services everything for your RV.
And again, welcome back. If you're just joining us, Kyle Busch was trying to complete 550 miles of racing today, and it was cut short earlier, and it's cut short once again as he is underneath his truck. Again, a new owner driver in the series.
Huge lap on Rec 1, and this field might be the perfect example of how that yellow line rule is supposed to work. There's a hole there for the 51 truck to get in when he's going down the back straightaway. He gets in it, the 3 truck crowds him over underneath the yellow line, and there's a crash.
And again, that is why we have the double yellow line. You can't go beneath it. No one violated that rule. And we're about ready to get back underway. Our first attempt at a double file restart in the Camping World Truck Series.
Those 2 KHI trucks there, Kevin Harvick Incorporated, Phil, should be able to line up at the front of this field, you would think, right?
But we know with the draft the way it is with these trucks, they will not be able to drive away. They have Jason White right now right on their rear tailgate.
And a year ago, that 4 was also a part of the KHI team, but no longer. Turner Motorsports.
But affiliated with KHI. KHI actually, I think, hangs the bodies on those trucks, maybe even does the entire truck.
Jason White, the 3rd truck back. He was your pole sitter at the start of this race. This is where the melee took place at the beginning of the race. It looks as though we'll get through 3 unscathed.
Taylor Malsom, a nice early run going right now, battling for the 4th spot.
Oh, Max Pappas has shot up in there too. He's running around 5th or 6th.
Great qualifying effort for Max.
Hugging the yellow line. Looks as though that might be the fast way around the racetrack tonight. At least it is for Elliott Sadler and Ron Hornaday as they lead the field back around through 1 and 2.
Elliott Sadler was so confident about this truck. Talked to him yesterday, and he said he couldn't wait to race. He didn't care whether it was last night, tonight, or next week. We got a truck smoking back in the back.
That looks like David Starr's truck, the Zachary number 81, and he was involved in the most recent incident.
Yeah, he had some damage. He lost a couple laps on pit road making repairs. Looks like so far the inside line's doing pretty well, Mikey.
Yeah, but you don't feel you really have to handle. Look at Max bouncing up the hill.
Wow.
Luckily, there was a hole there for him.
Barely a hole.
That was my point. You really have to handle good to be able just to keep staying right down on that yellow line.
Mario Goslin and the TireMonkey.com Chevrolet got really loose through the tri-oval. He's about 6 back on the inside line. That yellow and red number 12 truck.
Last time we raced a big super speedway like this, Mario worked his way up to a 6th place finish in that Tire Monkey truck. I believe I'd get to pit road if I was
David Starr.
Starr. That thing won't, that's a tire smoking, I think, and it won't last that long as much as it's smoking.
Yeah, it usually doesn't get any better.
2 trucks out front, Elliott Sadler and Ron Hornaday Jr., and then they're 2 by 2 back from 3rd. So about 20th.
And just FYI, if you're sitting at home, Elliott Sadler and Ron Hornaday are fine right now. They don't have any issues. They'll ride like that for as long as they can. Jason White probably is pretty comfortable right there in 3rd as well. But you can see Carmichael, Amarola, these guys that have gone up to the outside, they don't like where Ron Hornaday and Elliott Sadler are sitting. They want to be up there with them.
They want to play a little bit with them.
They don't want those guys up there. They want to replace them.
Stacy Compton on the outside of Rick Crawford, right with number 60, Crawford in the 14. Adam Alexander, how's our pole sitter doing?
Stage of the race, Rick, and the one thing they just told him from the spotter stand, whatever you do, make sure you don't leave the yellow line. The last thing we want to see happen is someone get a nose underneath of you and you go in the wrong direction. They are baby stepping him through this thing, but you got to be impressed. He wins the pole and he comes out early in this race running with the big boys.
And how about the attitude of his truck compared to the 2 guys in front of him? We talk about that a lot. The splitter sealed to the racetrack for the 2 and the 33, and then you see the 23, and there's about 3 inches of air underneath it.
Well, and the further you go back, Rick, the more air is getting deflected over your truck, so you don't have the aerodynamic advantage of it pushing your truck down, so you're going to be a little higher anyway. But some of these guys set their trucks up to run an inch or 2 off the ground. Some of them set them up to run right on the ground.